Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS College Basketball Wednesday. I'm going to go through 4 games like I normally do. Whatever games I don't get to, we'll go through on the live show at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Same guests as yesterday, Andy, Toast, and Scoop. I think we got 11 or 12 games lined up for the live show. So you're able to make it in the live show. Would love to see you in the comments. But yeah, right now I'm going to go through 5 games. Let's go.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
First up, we're starting in the SEC, and we got Tennessee on the road at South Carolina here. Gamecocks catching 5 points at home in this one, and the total sitting at 139.5. Betting trends on the Vols side. Tennessee 4-6 against the spread on the road this season, 10-6 against the spread in SEC play. They are 4-1 against the number in their last 5 overall. On the South Carolina side, 10-6 against the spread at home this year, 11-5 against the spread in SEC play, 3-2 against the spread in their last 5. Recent production from these two teams are pretty even here. Tennessee 8-2 in their last 10 games, 4-1 on the road in that span. South Carolina also 8-2 in their last 10 games, 4-1 at home in that span. And strength of schedule is pretty much even as well. In the last 10 games, Tennessee 53rd, South Carolina 45th. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with the Vols offense. Got to give the edge to Tennessee on this side. I mean, look at these numbers here. It's not an overwhelming mismatch. 87th to 147th in EFG, slight rebounding edge, but look at the turnovers. 22nd to 328th, so Tennessee should have the maximum number of possessions here. Shot zones for Tennessee's offense. We can pull up the mid-range shooting numbers here. Tennessee 58th and 65th in shooting efficiency from the 2 mid-range zones, so they've been efficient scoring from there. South Carolina 101st and 303rd. So, I mean, I guess that's a positive angle for Tennessee. But honestly, I'm a little worried about this matchup for the Vols offense. Tennessee likes to shoot the 3 ball. They're 90th in efficiency from the above the break 3 in the last 10 games. South Carolina's done a really good job defending that shot. They're 36th in frequency, so they're not allowing a lot of attempts from out there. And they're 102nd in efficiency as well. So, might be tough for Tennessee to go on the road and get the 3-point shot rolling in this one. On the other side of the court, we got the matchup for South Carolina's offense. Slight edge to Tennessee, but the Gamecocks definitely do have the huge rebounding advantage here in the last 10 games, 132nd to 239th. Other than that, though, EFG 36th to 164th in favor of Tennessee. If you're looking for a shot zone for South Carolina's offense, I mean, I guess we can point at the rim. They've been pretty good at the basket, 107th in frequency, 120th in efficiency, not bad. Tennessee defensively at the basket, 176th in efficiency. So, I mean, I guess South Carolina can score at the basket. There's really not much there. Some good news for South Carolina would be Tennessee's home away splits, though. You can see EFG, defensive EFG, and total rebounding rate. All those numbers better at home for Tennessee. So the fact that this game's on the road in South Carolina is big. That being said, when we bring up South Carolina's home away splits, all of their ranks better on the road. So South Carolina hasn't done much as far as defended their home court. So I mean, as far as betting this game, this number's too big. So South Carolina has to be the move here at 6.5, but I don't absolutely love it, but there's no way I'd lay it with Tennessee. They're in the middle of a gauntlet of a schedule. The last handful of games of Tennessee's schedule is just crazy entering the tournament. So, yeah, I'll take the points with South Carolina. I'm not in love with this one, though. Next game. Northwestern on the road in Michigan State. Sparty's laying 8.5 points at home. The total sitting at 136.5. Betting trends on the Northwestern side. 5-4-1 against the spread on the road this year, 11-7 against the spread in conference play. They're 3-2 against the spread in their last 5 overall. On the Michigan State side, 11-6 against the spread at home this year, 9-8-1 against the spread in conference play. They're also 3-2 against the spread in their last 5. Recent production from these two teams definitely points towards Northwestern here. Northwestern 6-4 in their last 10, just 2-3 on the road though. Michigan State just 5-5 in their last 10 games, 3-2 at home. Look at the strength of schedule. 62nd for Northwestern, 74th for Michigan State. So Northwestern has a better record than Michigan State in their last 10 games against a stronger schedule. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with Northwestern's offense, and I'd give the edge to Northwestern on this side. You can see here, EFG, 125th to 218th. Look at the turnovers, 32nd to 108. Michigan State's defense really has been underperforming recently. Couple of shot zones to take a look at for Northwestern's offense here. We could look at the short mid-range shot. They're 103rd in frequency. Problem is they're just 331st in efficiency, so Northwestern's taking a lot of these shots but not really making them. Michigan State defensively just 283rd and 221st against that zone. So if Northwestern is able to get that shot to fall, they should be able to score from there. But really what I want to look at is the above the break 3 numbers. Northwestern just 170th in frequency, so they haven't been taking a ton of them, but they're 11th in efficiency. They've been very efficient shooting the outside shot recently. And look at Michigan State's defensive numbers against the above the break 3. 311th and 296th. So the 3 ball should definitely be there for Northwestern. On the other side of the court, we got the Michigan State offense, and you definitely got to give the edge to Sparty on this side. I will say Northwestern does have the big rebounding edge, though. 20th to 233rd on this side of the court in the last 10. So not going to be second chance opportunities here for Michigan State, but EFG is 172 to 274. That's a pretty big gap. Turnover edge also goes to Michigan State. Shot zones for Michigan State's offense. We got to pull up the mid-range shooting numbers because Sparty takes a ton of them. In the last 10 games, over 43%. 43. So over 43% of Michigan State's shot attempts in the last 10 games have come from the 2 mid-range zones. That's a ton. 43%. Northwestern actually has solid defensive numbers against the short mid-range shot, though. They've struggled a little against the long mid-range shot. So, I mean, overall, I guess it's a decent matchup for Northwestern's defense. Not really much to go by there. The weak spot of this Northwestern defense has been at the basket recently. They've been getting cooked at the rim. But Michigan State, look at the numbers in the last 10 games. Sparty really doesn't have much of an interior scoring presence right now. So I don't know if Michigan State's really the right team to take advantage of this. Home away splits for Northwestern. You can see EFG definitely takes a dip on the road, 49th to 151st. But defensive EFG actually gets a big boost here, 303rd to 195th. They're also slightly better rebounding on the road, at least ranking says they are. On the Michigan State side, though, look at the defensive effective field goal percentage here. 320th on the road, 10th at home. So Michigan State's defense has been an entirely different animal at home, and that's why this line is at 8.5. Because when I was reading through these numbers, like obviously we know Michigan State's a much better team, but if we look at production from the last 10 games, 8.5 seems crazy. This is why. Because Michigan State at home defensively has been a problem, and Northwestern's offense dips on the road. That's not enough for me, though. I'm going to take the points in this one. I know a lot of people are probably going to be on Michigan State. I'm going Northwestern plus the points. Plus 8.5 next game. Big East up next. We got a big one here. Connecticut on the road at Marquette. Marquette catching 5.5 points at home. The total sitting at 151. Betting trends on the Husky side. UConn 5-4 against the number on the road this year. 11-7 against the spread in Big East play. They are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. On the Marquette side, 11-4 against the spread at home, 12-6 against the spread in Big East play, 3-2 against the spread in their last 5. Recent production from these two teams, obviously the edge goes to UConn, but Marquette's been playing really well also. At least they were before Kolek went down. We'll talk about that in a second. UConn 9-1 in their last 10, 3-1 on the road in that span, 95th strength of schedule, which is pretty much dead even with Marquette. They're at 90th in strength of schedule. They're 8-2 in their last 10 with a perfect 5-0 at home. So let's match these two teams up on the court, and we'll start with UConn offense, and edge goes to the Huskies here. I mean, EFG in the last 10 games, 12 to 117. Offensive rebounding rate, 12th to 335th. Should be an abundance of second chance opportunities here for UConn's offense. Here's the thing, though, with this matchup, and you can take it or leave it, what I'm about to say. So there's 2 shot zones where Connecticut frequents, above the break 3 and at the rim, right? We'll start with at the rim. UConn 88th in frequency, so they take a lot of shots down there, 124th in efficiency, so they're pretty efficient. Look at Marquette's defense, 10th in defensive efficiency at the basket. Marquette funnels you in and forces you to take contested layups, and they're good at it. So that's a solid angle for Marquette's defense. And the other shot zone that UConn frequents, the above the break 3, 112th in frequency, 21st in efficiency. So they've been shooting the lights out. Look at Marquette's defense. 49th in defensive efficiency against the above the break 3. So look, surface level numbers, UConn's offense is much better than Marquette's defense, but it might actually be a sneaky good matchup for Marquette's defense. On the other side of the ball, we got Marquette's offense, and we can go ahead and give the edge to Marquette on this side. EFG, UConn's defense 12th, but Marquette's 4th. UConn does have the rebounding edge, but turnovers, huge advantage Marquette. As far as shot zones for Marquette's offense, it's kind of tough to predict what we're going to see from them. This is only going to be the second game we've seen from Marquette without Kolek. And if you don't know who that is, Tyler Kolek's probably their best player. Certainly their most important offensive player. This is going to be the second game he's missed. And the first game, they got their ass beat by Creighton. Marquette didn't look great without him. So that's really a huge factor in this one. What does Marquette's offense look like without him? Home away splits for UConn. I mean, really not much here. You see the defensive EFG does take a dip, 3rd to 74th, but UConn offensively and rebounding elite on the road as well as home. On the Marquette side, really not much of a jump. I mean, all these numbers are better. All these ranks are better at home for Marquette, but not significantly. So what are we betting in this game? Your decision on this one's going to come down to a personal preference, how much you value one player, probably the best player on Marquette. Can we trust this team without him? And I'm going to say maybe not on the offensive side, but I think we can trust the defense here. I like the way it matches up against UConn. UConn on the road, which, as Toast keeps repeating to us, UConn hasn't really shown us anything on the road. I think their best road win all year is Villanova. So UConn really hasn't shown us anything on the road yet. I think Marquette's defense can give him some problems here, but can we trust the offense to keep up? I think the move is to go under. Give me the under at 151.5 next game. BYU on the road at Iowa State. Clones are laying 6.5 points at home. The total sitting at 147.5. Betting trends on the BYU side: 2-7 against the spread on the road this year. 6-10 against the spread in Big 12 play. They are 3-2 against the spread in their last 5, though. On the Iowa State side, we got beautiful looking trends here. 14-3 against the spread at home this year. 11-4-1 in Big 12 play, and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 overall. Recent production from these two teams definitely points towards Iowa State here. Cyclones 8-2 in their last 10 games with the 5th strongest schedule in the country. So they're 8-2 against the 5th strongest schedule. A perfect 5-0 at home. Now, BYU 7-3 in their last 10 against the 30th strongest schedule. So let's give BYU some credit as well. But they're just 2-3 on the road in that span. So let's match these teams up on the court. We'll start with BYU's offense. Kind of a wash on this side. I mean, maybe the slight edge goes to BYU, but if you keep in mind that we're using numbers here from the last 10 games and Iowa State's played a stronger schedule, I'd say it puts it about even. If you're betting Iowa State in this game, this is what you're worried about right here: protecting the basket. In the last 10 games, Iowa State defensively 310th in efficiency at the rim. That's bad. Look at BYU's offensive numbers at the basket in the last 10. 93rd in frequency, 56th in efficiency. So they're attacking the basket a lot, and they're scoring at an efficient rate. That being said, though, as much as I think BYU is going to score at the rim here, they also like to take a lot of above the break threes, and that probably will not be there. They're just 277th in efficiency, but 22nd in frequency. So they're launching a lot of threes and not really hitting them, and that's exactly what Iowa State wants. I mean, 200 in frequency, so they're giving up a lot of attempts, but 53rd in efficiency, so they've defended the three ball well. So the three ball probably not going to be there for BYU. On the other side of the court, we got the Clones offense, and I'll give the edge to Iowa State here. I know looking at these numbers, it looks like just a slight edge, but keep in mind the strength of schedule as well in the last 10, so give the slight edge to Iowa State here on this side. As we know, this is an Iowa State offense that does most of their damage from inside the three-point line, which is a nice matchup here because BYU's strength is defending the three. Iowa State's not even trying to take many of those. Iowa State's got great looking numbers from mid-range. They should be able to cash from there. Also, Iowa State doesn't attack the basket a ton, but they're very efficient when they do. That should also be an area Iowa State scores from. So overall, solid looking matchup for Iowa State offensively. Home away splits, and this is where it gets tough to back BYU because up until this point in the handicap, I was leaning towards BYU, but look at BYU's numbers on the road. I mean, they're worse in every single category, specifically on the defensive side, back at 139th at defensive EFG on defense. And then look at Iowa State splits, significantly better in every single category at home, and it's not even close. Significantly better. So as much as I think this number is too big, and Iowa State is not 6.5 points better than BYU, the fact that it's in Iowa State, I feel like I have to do it. So I'm leaning towards the Clones here. I haven't bet this one yet. I kind of want to see what the other guys think on the live show first, but these home away splits are pretty convincing that Iowa State has to be the move here. So I'll say Iowa State or pass for now. Like I said earlier, we got back-to-back live shows, 3 p.m. Eastern time college basketball, 4 p.m. Eastern time NBA. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Tomorrow's guest is Ski, by the way. We got Ski coming on. He comes on every Wednesday. So hope to see you there. If you want my top bets for all sports parlays of the day, or you'd like to join our Discord, head over to kylekirms.com. The information is right there on the homepage. Let's have ourselves a nice Wednesday. I need a bounce back, man. I didn't say this in the beginning of this video, but I actually just had my first losing day since February 14th. I was on a crazy NBA heater. It ended in a violent way on Tuesday night. So I'm looking for a bounce back Wednesday. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.